Welcome back, guys, to another movie review. Today, we're going to be talking about the film called Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Portrait of a Lady on Fire is directed by Céline Sciamma, and it stars Noémie Merlan and Adèle Haenel. I just don't want to spoil anything, because if you don't know anything about this movie, better. This film blew me away. I've been postponing it for a while, saying, I'm going to watch it, and I finally made the decision to watch it, and I'm happy I did. First off, and very, 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 very importantly, I must give massive credit to the cinematographer, Claire Maton. This film is an absolute work of art. When you are watching this movie, it is like watching a moving painting. So many of these scenes look like they could be straight out of an oil painting from the era. The combination of the production design right along with the wardrobe that is chosen for the actresses, and those things together with the shot composition and the composition of the frames that you see with the cinematography and the choice of the color palette is just mind-boggling how beautiful it is. It so perfectly captures the feeling of the period, the tone of the story, and the characters, and everything. So many of the shots in this movie are just seared into my visual memory and are so beautiful. And one in particular, out of the many that there are, that calls to my attention is when they're in this kind of old-timey kitchen where you prepare or eat food, and there's this big kind of hearth fireplace for cooking, and they're around this table, and the way that scene is framed, it literally is a painting. And beyond strictly the visual aspects, this film is marvelously emotional, and the sentiment runs very deeply throughout the narrative as we accompany these characters on their journey. This film makes you really see the beauty of life, of love, and the art that is cinema. The two main characters are absolutely fabulous. They do a phenomenal job. They have great chemistry together, and it makes you deeply and profoundly empathize with them as they manage this situation that the story puts them through. And I must mention a third character who is also very integral to the story, which is the character of the housemaid, who is played by the actress by the name of Luana Bajrami. She didn't take away at all. She added to the depth of the story that was interwoven and allowed there to be even further development of our two main characters. And the two main characters seem so very real. They're so authentically acted, as though we're observing just a brief snippet in a period of history of two very real people. This film has impeccable sound design, but there is kind of an active decision, it seems, to avoid the use of a score or background music. However, there were 3 scenes that incorporated direct music within the context of the scene that were super important to the story and deeply integral to what was happening, adding to the tone. One of them is on a beach with a group of women singing, and it just makes you get goosebumps and shiver. It was utterly beautiful. And the other 2 just straight up pierced my heart. I mean, one of which was a bit more light, but then it has kind of almost a secondary impact as that piece of music in the scene takes on a very different meaning and a whole nother significance at the end of the film. Shout out to everybody who made this film, and even the location scout. The locations in this movie in France are just so beautiful. The language, even, for me personally, who thinks that French is a very beautiful language, it sounds so melodic, and I don't even know if this film could really work if it was done in English. If it was like, say, in England in the exact same time period, the same story, but not in French, I don't know if it could work. I don't know if it would resonate the same way. This film is like a visual poem. It's singing to us throughout the whole movie in this beautiful rhythm that just puts us in a trance. It deeply engaged me, and it left me feeling in love with the film, but also heartbroken at the same time. Technically speaking, from the cinematography to the acting to the writing to the direction to the sound design, this film is a masterpiece, and it is so incredible. I am running out of adjectives. I can't think of a synonym to beautiful that isn't gorgeous or pretty. It is visual storytelling at its finest. I want to watch this movie again. It's a feast for the eyes, and it's a very delightful story, although somewhat tragic. I think I'm probably going to have to make a video about what my rating system is and probably define it better, because there might be some confusion as to why I give a certain rating to a certain movie. But you know what? This movie compels me to give it a 10 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos, my reviews. I really appreciate it. Hit that like button. Go ahead, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of A Portrait of a Lady on Fire. As always, I will see you in the next review.